Good afternoon, Ephanthus. How are you doing today?
I'm very good, sir. Mr. Vincent, I'm very happy to meet you.
Very nice to meet you too. So
Yeah.
today's the first day we're actually speaking to one another in video. We just had a quick chat before we started this conversation. Ephanthus, I'm very interested. How did you find yourself into the fruit business, in particular to become an exporter? My understanding is you have a range of products which you're exporting, tropical fruits being the core. And I'm always interested how a person finds their way into the business.
Thanks for that question, Mr. Vincent. First of all, I'd say being raised and brought up in Kenya, in a rural village, where our parents were farmers.
Hmm.
I was brought up seeing fruits hanging the tree. People would come, pick the fruits, and they pay peanut to my mom and my dad.
Mm.
And that was what was taking me to school. I went to school, learned, came up to the corporate world, where
Hmm.
I worked as one of two major banks in Kenya. I've been a banker for almost 10 years.
Hmm.
So, but in banking industry, I decided to feel I need to bring an impact mostly to the farmers
Hmm.
in the country because one of the things in Kenya, farming is the main core business for a lot of citizens. So that's how I got myself in this business because I wanted to bring an impact not only to myself but also to the peasant farmer in the village who is working very hard, taking care of the fruits, taking care of the farm. But at the end of the day, they are getting very little. So that's why I decided to come to this field, so
Hmm.
that whenever I do business, I'm going to bring an impact to that farmer who is seated in that village, doing the main duty to have the guys outside the Kenya all over the world to have the best fruit that come from Kenya. Yeah, that's why I decided to venture in this business.
That's excellent. And so you're a banker for over 10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
How long ago was it that you switched over into the fruits industry? How did you join another company at first, or did you just go straight into it and organize your exporting company? Packing too, is that correct?
Yes, what I did after sitting down and realizing what I needed and seeing a bright future in this industry, I decided first of all to form my own company. It was not easy to start with. I registered the company following the government regulation in Kenya, which required a lot of capital, a lot of bureaucracy in the area. So I first of all found my own company. I stayed like a year without doing anything to it, just selling myself through Instagram, through LinkedIn, through other social media platforms. Then luckily I got a friend. I shared my story with him. Him being that industry, I shared my story with him. And when I told him how interested I'm in this business, we came together. But having the separate company, we came together and started working. So I can say within 1 year, the next season, I was able now to venture into the market very well, getting few grand there. And by that, I got hope that I'll be able to move to the next step.
Wow. So do I understand it correctly? That's roughly 2 years old. How many years old is the company?
Now we are in our third year. Yeah, we are not
Wow,
that old. We are small, but we like a kid how they start growing small by small.
that's
I
excellent.
can see I can see that I have seen God heart. So I trust in that and I trust the process,
Yes.
being sincere, being being hardworking,
Mm.
and also doing the right thing at the right time.
That's excellent. That's excellent. In a short amount of time, you've definitely made an impact because I must say I've seen you quite a few times on LinkedIn. So that's one area that was very easy to come across your name. Um, I'm curious, in terms of your markets, how do you see the supply side developing in countries like Kenya, Tanzania? And how do you see exports generally looking towards the UK and Europe? Just before we started speaking, we just quickly discussed that Kenya doesn't yet have access to North America, but as of last year, I think you said, Kenya has access to China. So I'm just curious, in terms of your exports, how do you see the various markets and how do you see the deals taking shape? Is there some markets you prefer working with than others without pointing any fingers?
Yeah, sure. It's not an easy task to start with. One is because of the global effect of the economy,
Mhm.
where fruit sometimes is seen as a luxurious thing. So it is not a matter that you have a fruit on your meal. So it has not been easy for the last couple of the years because of the global impact on the economy and whatever is affecting all the countries in the world. So you can see it has not been easy trade to penetrate. On the market where we look at, we are comfortable working in any market, provided we have agreed good terms with our client and that we agreed on the way to carry on our business. So I cannot point fingers saying this country I cannot work with this country because of this and this.
Yeah.
But of course, there are some countries that are well known in the country that not in the country in the world that are very dangerous to work in, and we try as much as possible to ensure that whenever we are doing business with those markets, we have good terms of payments so that we don't become victim of scams and lose our monies because the process requires a lot of money.
Yes.
It's capital intensive. Assume you are doing a container. Container will cost you more than $35,000 to feed a 40-feet container. So in case something go bad, get a bad client, that become a loss to you. So we are very careful on how we engage our client so that we have the good client on the table.
Yes. And going a little bit before we started this conversation, we were just chatting a little bit about um, price changes in the market. So my understanding is you have partnerships with a number of growers in Kenya. I'm not too sure if you have your own farms as well. Um, and quite often pricing will change. So a, let's call it a rogue trader will come to the farm with a bunch of money and say, "I'll give this much more." How do you feel this impacts the market and planning? Because what's really important many times is stability. For your clients in Europe, your clients in the Middle East, they want stability. So how do you think short short-sighted trading possibly changes the market for you?
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of dynamic in this market because, as you know, the prices will depend on the law of demand and supply. So when supplies are high, you expect that the prices will be low, especially when the other country that produces the fruit are also on season. Uh, at some time, because of bad timing, I'd say that you may end up quoting a very low price to your customer or to your client, thinking that the market will remain the same. But unfortunately, you wake up everything, as you said, there are a lot of traders who come to the market, start buying at a fairly high price, and you have already discussed with your client the price you are going to give them. So you don't go back to the client telling them now, We woke up, the market is this and this. So that's one challenge that we are facing, because that means now you have a very difficult time trying to get the supply of the fruit to your pack house. And that's one thing, it will bring delays to processing.
Mm-hmm.
You have also delay also in payment, because on paying the suppliers, because the amount that you get from now the importer may not be able to cover what you are going to incur as a cost. That's why your margin as well.
Yes.
So that's something that really affect us, because of the dynamic in the price. It is not fixed. Today I'll tell you it is this price. Tomorrow we wake up, it is ABC. So
Yes.
that's one of the challenges that we face as traders as well.
Very, very dynamic. And going on to, obviously your main market, from my understanding, is well, I want to say Europe and the UK, but you mentioned the Middle East pulls a tremendous supply from Kenya. Is the Middle East actually dominating pulling most of the avocado production from Kenya? Or is the dominant market still Europe and the UK for Kenyan avocados?
Yeah, the dominant market is, to be sincere, is Europe. As the hub of it's the market hub, because like Netherlands is where a lot of our Kenya avocado will go. Then from there they are picked and distributed to other Europe countries. I don't know whether it is East Europe or West Europe, because like country like Poland will take their Belgium, all those will go to Europe. Then in Netherlands, then they are picked distributed to those areas. Also, Middle East is coming up very well. We have countries like Dubai, Oman, Jordan, Saudi Arabia. They also consume a lot of Kenya avocados, mainly a variety that is called green skin.
Yes.
Fuerte variety.
Yes.
The main consumer of that fruit is Middle East, including Turkey as well. Russia has reduced because of the war that is happening, so we are not able to take fruit far to the Russia site because of the sanction that is there. The shipping line are not flying that route. So we can see the major market player is Europe. Coming in very strongly, China. China is coming in very strongly, because like last year, then when it was started, the government said allowed 70,000 tons were taken to China. I don't know whether it was 70,000 tons, but a lot went to that side. Let me not quote the exact figure, because I didn't have it. Didn't know whether it will come to this meeting. But
yes.
It is not a huge market for the Kenya produce, mainly avocado.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, that number does surprise me. It's a very big number, and it's very, very interesting. You mentioned that the Middle East is taking quite a bit of green skin varieties, right there. From the last, I remember China's not the biggest fan of it, but markets do evolve and markets do change. They tend to be more interested in Hass, very similar to most of, let's call it, Europe.
Yes.
Do you see, just something you mentioned a bit earlier, I found important. Do you see a big difference in the quality of the avocados going to Europe, Middle East, and China? Do you see a big quality difference? Or is it really just the sizing that the different markets are preferring? Because what I did like that you mentioned earlier is quite a fair share of the Kenyan avos are in essence going to be bio. Not with the certificate that it's bio, but in practicality, they're not treated with multiple pesticides. So they are bio. So I'm wondering, what quality are you exporting to Europe versus Middle East versus China? Was the demand?
Yeah, for quality, for export quality, because we need also to build our market and our name as a country. We are already doing grade one quality. That is for the export. We ensure that the avocado that is being exported is grade one quality to all the region. We don't differentiate saying now this is going to Middle East, we are not going to give the same quality as what is going to Europe. Because remember, quality is key to keep your client. So that's why we are going to insist on quality, whether I'm taking to Middle East, whether I'm taking to Europe or to China. One thing about quality, as you said, most of ours is bio. The region is very good. Can say that God has given us a very good country. There's a lot of rain, so our product is very good. You said about insects affecting the planet, the fruits. Yeah, there are diseases that sometimes may not be established when you are processing, but with the quality check at the pack house, where we have good people who are able to identify such fruit and they don't move to the pallet, we're able to do a good quality for the same. So on quality, we insist on doing grade one, because if today said you are bad quality, tomorrow you get a credit not from you claiming back your money.
Yes.
We don't want to have a bad name that client will say Kenya they don't pay when they produce they deliver bad quality.
Yes.
So we insist on quality. Mostly me I insist on quality as an exporter. So that next time I'll be happy talking to you and asking you this time this season are you taking anything from me?
Sorry, I didn't.
I said I will insist always on quality, because if I sent to Vincent this season
Oh
and my
yeah.
quality was bad, what will happen next season? I'll
No,
not be able to
definitely.
talk to him.
Definitely. As an importer, I still remember vividly. We would know who the good suppliers are in terms of quality, and there would always be a discussion and a decision. Do we take this supply because we think the market is going to be short? Because we're definitely not wanting the supply in a market which has lots of fruit. But you always want to take a supplier that's got good quality, because even in a bad market when fruit prices are on the ground, at least you're still at the top end of the market, because people know the brand, they appreciate the quality, they see it. I think going on to I keep on coming back to avocados, Ephanthus. I know that you do mangoes and other products too,
Yeah.
but with avocados, I personally believe that many consumers are being let down here in Europe and in other countries, because there's premature avocados being picked, shipped, and you're buying avocados for, let's say, €1 a piece here. Euro 50, it really depends. And let's say you buy 10 pieces. Not all those 10 pieces are going to be good. You're gonna be waiting weeks for them to ripen, and when they ripen, they're not going to turn out good. And I believe that's a pity on the export side and on the import side, for simply trying to fill up shelves, but not with the best products. Which is unfortunate. So going back to you mentioning quality is key. It sounds so stereotypical, but it's key. And one last thing on quality, there's a quote that I remember, and I think it was attributed to Gucci. And I think it goes, quality is remembered long after price is forgotten. I think that's a very true quote. You remember the quality of a T-shirt or something that you buy that you appreciate.
Yeah.
So, Francis, going back to the supply side, you have a pack house or multiple pack houses,
Yes.
and you're sourcing from your partners and probably third-party growers as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, how how do you see uh, adding more value to your suppliers? Do you provide them insights into the exports? Do you give them more knowledge of what's happening? To pretty much, do you give them information so that they feel part of this whole journey and process? Because my understanding is very often a farmer will speak to his neighbor, and the neighbor says, "Well, I'm getting this much. Aren't you getting this much?" But what they don't realize is the market is changing. It doesn't mean they're going to get this money. Last year, for example, it was a very bad grapefruit year for South African exporters. Farmers were wanting to send all of their produce to China. Very few companies said, look, we don't want to send the fruit to China. It's not going to be good. And those companies made the right decisions. But it's through information. So my question really is, how do you work with your partners and your growers? How do you guide them through the market? How do you guide them through supplying you rather than taking a quick 50 cents extra for their product?
One thing we usually encourage them to fetch the good price. They have first of all to be very key on quality, because if they harvest a fruit which is immature, for example, and they bring to the packing house, using our material and machines that are in pack house, we will not be able to really take that fruit if we are maintaining the quality. So we encourage our growers to ensure that they don't harvest their fruit when they are small. We encourage them, pick the big fruit first of all, which are mature, ensure the dry matter is okay, and from that you'll be able to fetch the good price. The more you stay with your fruit during the season, as it goes, the more you have a benefit to fetch the good price. So we just teach them good practice of farming. Don't be in a hurry so that you can get small coins as the others are getting. But if you are, how can I put it? If you are patient enough, your fruit grows very well. It gain a good dry matter. As it gain the more it gain the dry matter, the more is the weight. Because remember, our fruit are factory using the weight. So let's say three fruits in the month of April were weighing, let's say 1 kg. The same three fruit today in June, maybe they are weighing 3 kg. Who gains? The one who sold in April will be losing because he sold the same three fruit as 1 kg, but you today the same three fruit they are being counted as 3 kg. So we encourage the farmer not to be in a hurry to harvest immature fruit. The other thing we teach them is good practice in farming. As we said, we don't want our fruit to have a lot of chemicals. So we also learn how we have some farming practice that are reducing the acidity in the farm. Instead of telling them to use the chemical fertilizers, we are able to advise them to use something like lime, which allow the tree roots to be able to extend far to get nutrients instead of using pesticides, which they cannot even be able to manage because of the situation in this site. We encourage them to use like insect arresters. They place them in the trees. We are helping them with all those. We also encourage them to be organized in societies, not to work as an individual. Because when they are organized as a society, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 farmers come together, they'll be able to command the price of what they are getting from us. because they are minutes. When they are one, and come to farmer A, I tell them I'm going to buy you at 5 cents. I go to farmer B, I tell them I'm going to buy you at one shilling. But now when they are together, they are able to, like a society.
Hmm.
It's very easy for them to make good money because they have the control of whatever they are selling.
That's interesting. So you're actually encouraging your partners and the farms that you get supply with to group up with, in essence, their neighbors and
Exactly.
create little teams, little communities where they're all working together. They have their own land, they have their own supply, but they're coordinating with each other.
Yes, yes.
That's very interesting. I like
That's
that.
very key. That's very key to the market because that will ensure that they know even you have a contract with them. When you have, you can also we also organize agronomists to visit them and take them through what is required to do better farm practice for
That's
future
very
as well.
interesting. That's yeah, that's definitely a value add that you're giving, which I'm quite sure is very well appreciated by them, by your suppliers.
Yes, sure, sure.
Um, and then makes me think a little bit about how you see the direction of the business and your business in particular. Um, what's on the horizon that you're working with, which you're excited about, which you're trying to develop to strengthen your position and obviously grow your market?
Yeah, there a
You,
lot
you
of
don't you don't
dynamic.
you don't have to give away any trade secrets. It's okay. You can be cryptic.
Yeah, the way to go now is value addition. The
No
value
problem.
addition, value addition.
Value addition.
Yes, yes, that is not the only way to go because if everybody is doing fresh, so if you one is go another level and now start doing value addition, you have to go now to the books. See, apart from oil, let's say oil is one of the value addition. Apart from oil, what else can I get from this fruit? You have to uh, we have to collaborate with many other, even in other countries, on how you can you can come up together, mass up the product, and come up with even better value addition goods from the same product.
I agree. Um,
That's now the horizon and the next move that this industry is headed to.
very nice. Um, with with value addition, it sounds like you're putting a lot of you're adding the value to your suppliers. And now I'm thinking about the market side.
Not
Um,
not not only to the supply. When I say the value addition, I mean from that fruit, what can I extract from it? We know currently there's oil, but now apart from oil, what else? How can we be able to preserve it for more than even a year? Remember, it's a seasonal fruit. You do it for let's say 5 months. From there, it is not there. What can it be done that after the 5 months you have an extension of the same in the next 5 months again? You get what I mean?
yes, 100%, 100%.
Yes,
Um,
that's not the way to me allowed to see apart from selling it when it is fresh and frozen, what else can it be done?
100%. It's looking for value. As a matter of fact, I think it was yesterday I saw something quite interesting. In essence, it's taking avocado seeds, collecting them, and cleaning the seeds and turning the seeds into, in essence, wooden spoons and forks. Oh, it's not wooden, whatever the material of the seed is. But the first time I saw it, it was very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so, Francis, your company brand is, well, your company's name is Phan Fresh. I'm going to guess that
Yeah.
comes from Ephanthus.
Yes, sure, sure, sure.
Um, And what brands do you pack in? Do you only have the Fantas brand, or do you have different brands which you're slowly developing? Because I'm guessing you're going to market, you want to build this brand. Which brands are you
Yeah.
using?
Okay. As I said, currently we are young. Yes, a company is the Phan Fresh come after my name. When I was a small boy, my late mom named me Fan. I don't know whether he could. It is not because he could not be able to pronounce the name of Fantas in food, but I was given a nickname Fan. So
Mhm.
to me, it also means happy, being fun. Like
Okay, got you.
yes. So I decided to use that name. As I said, we are a small company. 3 years old. We have not yet been able to penetrate a lot in market. So currently we are using generic branding.
Mhm.
When I get a client, he may say, I want my own brand. So he'll give me the content he wants in the box. I put that. But the next move, because I've seen it is something that is working very well.
Mhm.
I'm also planning now from next time. I'm also going to be able to be doing my own brand now. I go an extra way. It is somehow expensive, but
Mhm.
to be able to sell myself, I am planning to ensure that my brand is not feasible even to the other part of the world.
That's excellent. That's excellent. And obviously, there's a lot of pressure if your brand is Phan Fresh, since it's got your name on it, right? You really do want it to be a good quality product.
Yeah.
No, it's excellent, Francis. It was really good having a conversation with you, and obviously speaking just before um, now. Is there anything that you'd want to share with who, whoever is going to be watching this interview in the future? They could be watching it next week. They could be watching it in 10 years from now.
Yeah. What I can share is say that one has to believe in themselves. They need to be persistent in what they are doing. And by that, they are going to be able to reach to where they need to be. So it is all about hard work, patience, being disciplined, consistency, and perseverance. Also, the other thing I can say is one needed to make the client happy. You talked about quality, immature fruit. I don't we to be relevant in this market. Don't the government need to put a lot of control on what is being harvested? Because sometimes you find some companies are fruit company harvesting the fruit when they are not mature, as you said. That when reach the shelf in the supermarket, that ain't the country name.
Yes.
Because yes, company X did a wrong thing, but now one, as the Englishman as a saying say, a rotten fruit in a basket will make all the other fruit rotten. So we need as traders also to ensure that to keep the country name in the map, we ensure that we work with correct quality, mature fruit, good dry matter, and that will be a tick for even the others who are doing the same business from that country.
Yeah. No, I think all those points are very valid. And with you beginning to mention, the dedication, the hard work, all these things, it's key. One needs to remind themselves that at times. It's a long journey. Things can take a very long time to build up, but they can disappear a lot quicker if you
Sure.
if you stop putting your energy in the right way.
Thank you.
Ephanthus, thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to seeing your brand in the market.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate for your time as well and for planning this. I hope it was nice.
It was
Sorry,
great.
I may not be very edible. I have not taken water, but I was up and down, but always well. Thank you a lot. I appreciate.